Hey guys, what's up? Roadrunner. Going very unscripted on this. So, I'm not really big into video games. I like some video games. I'm specifically mainly into Nintendo stuff, though I do like some Microsoft Xbox stuff. Um, Avery, lay down, baby. Lay down. Thank you. Anyways, but lately, a couple weeks ago, I ended up buying a Xbox 360, which is actually technically the second one I own. I used to have another one, but I ended up selling. No, actually threw that one away. And with the 360, I ended up getting two games: Red Dead Redemption, which I already had from when I had a 360 last year, and I ended up going to what our local gaming store, local, which is Game Exchange, hell of a lot better than GameStop. Um, I ended up getting Fallout 3. So technically, this is the first time I got Fallout, and the reason why I'm telling you all this, I'll explain in a minute. But I ended up getting Fallout 3, which is technically my first Fallout game. Uh, Still to this day, I actually have a game called Fallout Shelters, which is made by the same people. I'm gonna butcher their name, Bethesda or something like that. Anyways, and then somebody knows my brother who beat the game himself told me to get Fallout New Vegas, which I still do to this day. So I beat the main storyline of Fallout 3. I'm in the middle of Fallout New Vegas trying to catch somebody. Last night, I bought Fallout 1, 2, and Fallout Tactics Brotherhood all in the same package for $20 on Steam. So now I have six, uh, six Fallout games under me, and then I have another one, a seventh game on the way over here. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, which is a Xbox PS2 game. I'm getting it for the Xbox, and then after that, in the future, I might get a Xbox One. I don't know if I actually will or not, but I might get an Xbox One and get Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I've noticed since I've seen the YouTube videos over the years and, you know, me playing the Fallout games, especially 3 in New Vegas, my life, in a way, feels like a Fallout game. Not the whole thing. I mean, you know, it's not like there's a bunch of well, do big guys on steroids who work out a lot and have biceps the size of a fucking car count as super mutants? I've always wondered about that. Anyways, it's not like we got super mutants around and, you know, Rad Roach. Big radiant, no. Mole rats is what they're called. I wonder, does a big giant rat count as a mole rat? Anyways, my point is that my life feels like a Fallout game. So I noticed there was a lot of similarities between my life and, let's say, the 3D perspective Fallout games, for example, since, you know, they have better stuff on it. Uh, you know, Fallout, all the Fallout games are in wasteland apocalyptic areas. Fallout 3 is over in Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area. Fallout New Vegas is in, obviously, Las Vegas and the surrounding area there. Fallout 1 and I think Fallout 2 is Texas area, and so on and so forth. And so, seeing as I spent a lot of time out west, I feel more, in a way, at home with Fallout New Vegas because of the fact that, again, it takes place in Las Vegas and the surrounding desert area. And a lot of the towns and deserted areas in that game remind me of the stuff that I had got to see when I was on the road for so many years. So it's kind of like if you made a video game based on my life, on what I saw, especially in the Western United States. Fallout New Vegas really, to me, is the closest game that you can experience in a way of, I guess you could say, the life of the Texas Roadrunner or whatever the fuck, right? So, you know, setting wise, a lot of that is very similar. out west, especially out west. I don't I don't know if it's really the same out east. It probably is, considering, the country's oldest areas is the East Coast when we first started. Um, you know, when you go out west, you got all these you got these abandoned towns, abandoned communities, abandoned buildings, cars on the side of the road. You got all this stuff there that looks like an apocalyptic style area. If you play any of the Fallout games, but especially 3 in New Vegas, you get the same ordeal. So yeah, like I said, setting wise, that's what it really reminds me a lot. Another thing is, a lot of gamers probably wouldn't understand this because, I mean, if they're gamers, I don't think a lot of them really have experience in what someone like myself or Cooter and all our friends do. But in the Fallout games, you have to scavenge, basically. You gotta go look for food. You gotta look for medical supplies, which in the game wise, it's stim packs, radways, Mentos, and stuff like that. And medical wise here, I could just go down to the nearby dollar store if they threw any good stuff away, which they haven't lately, and I can go ahead and get like boxes of bandages and stuff for nausea and headaches and stuff like that. It's the same ordeal. And then another thing is, I'm trying to make this as relevant as to our world as heavily as possible. Another thing, I guess, would be politics. Um, just like here in our world, out here in the U.S., you have all the 50 states, but in the Fallout world, you have the 50 states, but the world of Fallout stayed very true to the roots of the 1950s. In other words, everything is like 1950-ish, early 60s style setting, and that's in every Fallout game as far as I'm aware of. And so, even on, because right now it's 2021. Now, I'll try to make this short. It's 2021. Some of the games take place in like 21 something, 22 something. The bombs were dropped like in 2077, I think, of the video game, and it's 2021. So, in their lifetime, they stayed in a 1950s style living conditions with everything from the radios to the cars. But with that being said, they did update or upgrade their lives a little bit, because if you look at some of their cars, a lot of their cars are actually, I think in Fallout 4, when I played it at a friend's house a couple years ago, the cars were actually like hovercraft, like Jetson style looking cars. And there's aliens in the game. So the similarities between my life and the Fallout games is the settings, the the way I am living my life, as in like scavenging, or in my case, I'm dumpster diving. Which, by the way, after I upload this video, I will go out and do a dumpster dive tonight. So be looking forward to that video tomorrow morning. Um, what else? Trying to in the Fallout games, you have to protect what you would consider your home, whatever building you decide to keep as your home. You got to protect it from raiders. In my case, I have to protect my homestead, not only from certain people who live down the road, the gangbanger wannabes who like to throw out stupid little hand signs or something like that. You know, not only do I have to defend my place from them, and believe me, with what happened last month and the month before, you definitely would be doing that around here. But also got to protect my animals and my garden from raccoons and possums and squirrels and stuff like that. So there's a similarity right there. Politic wise, we are very close. We have been close on and off for years to having a apocalyptic kind of scenario happen soon, because everybody is just so ready. Every leader of the nation is so ready to have their little finger on the red button that's going to send the nuke up, which in the video games, that's what caused the apocalyptic situation to happen in the first place. Now, of course, life is not a video game, but there's a lot of similarities between my world, or general our world, and Fallout world. So, politic wise, that plays a part into it. Um, Fallout 4 has what they call base building. You can build your own bases in like 30 different locations. That's kind of the same way here on the homestead, because I'm always constantly trying to update, well, I wouldn't say update, but upgrade and maintain the homestead for energy and water and food and the animals and the housing and stuff like that. And that kind of feels the same way to me, because I'm always trying to have this creative mind, like what I want to do, what do I want to do over here, what I want to do over there, who should I call to come help me with this, blah 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 blah. Um I gotta have as much creative freedom with something like this as possible. And in a way, the Fallout games actually, this is one of the reasons why I got into the Fallout games, other than my love of open world sandbox RPG games, is the fact that the Fallout games give me a lot of different ideas for what I want to do. And again, life is not a video game, but if you take some of the ideas from the Fallout games, especially from 3 and onward, you can actually, as long as it's not going to get you killed or whatever, you can actually do something like that that would probably help you either in your homestead or help you defend yourself from somebody. That's just different examples right there. Another thing in the Fallout games that I want to, actually, I think this is a good idea. If you're wondering about my voice, I'm actually getting stopped up, so give me 1 second. Pepsi. Okay, so anyways, the one thing I've always noticed is, up until Fallout New Vegas, is that in the Fallout games, Fallout has its own form of currency. And that would be bottle caps. Not any bottle caps like these, but we're talking about, like, beer bottle caps, soda bottle caps, glass bottles with those little metal caps that you have to take off with a little, either you could twist it off or you could take it off with a little tool. And that's their form of currency. Because in the Fallout games, bottle caps, okay, well, here in the US, at least, and I'm probably wrong about this based off of what I hear, if I remember correctly, money is supposed to be backed by gold. Supposed to be. Now, if I remember correctly, there's some things that happened before my lifetime where, I think, wasn't it Nixon who called back the gold or something, and like it was legal to have this amount of gold at the time or whatever the fuck. But apparently, at one time, cash money or change or whatever the hell was backed by actual gold. There was, you can go to the bank and exchange, $20, which, if I remember correctly, $20 was 20 ounces, I think. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you could have gone to the bank, give them $20, and you would have got like 20 ounces of gold or something like that. Something along that line. So, in the Fallout games, you actually have to, the bottle caps are backed by clean, purified water. That's their backing of it. That is their backing of the currency behind bottle caps. Now, of course, if you played Fallout New Vegas, not only do you have bottle caps to deal with, which is easier to get in that game than the other games, but you also have, you have 2 other factions in the game. One's called, Caesar or Kaiser's Legion. Another one is, what was the other one? Sorry about that. Anyways, the NCR, which is the New California Republic. Stop. And they both have their own different money systems. But I mainly focus on the bottle cap situation. Now, most people have already made YouTube videos on the bottle caps, why it wouldn't be a good idea to have them as currency. And to an extent, I can agree with it, but I kind of disagree because, you see, the problem is, uh, everybody thinks it's a bad idea because, there's only so much water in the world. So the currency behind the, the bottle caps wouldn't really work, which I agree. And I mean, it's to me, it's the same way with cash. It was the same way when our cash was backed by gold. Now our cash is just fiat money. It's just debts. It's debt that has to be paid. When you have a $20 bill, you have $20 in debt right there in your hand. At least that's how it was explained to me. Um, so with that being said, I can agree when it comes to the water part, but at the same time, I think, especially with what's going on right now in our timeline, our world, what's going on right now, I actually think bottle caps can actually work as a form of currency. And hear me out. Just hear me out real quick, okay? Before you start yelling and saying how stupid I sound, just hear me out. The way I look at it is the reason why in the Fallout games that water worked was because everybody agreed that water was a form of, what's that word? I guess currency, or a viable one. It was a commodity, just like here in our world, gold, and then, down to silver and copper and all that is commodity. Um, but again, as I mentioned, you can only go so much with water, or gold in general. So in the US, if we did decide to do the bottle cap thing, which to be honest, considering all the shit going on, I can actually see us doing that. We would have to have something to back the bottle caps up, because let's be honest, a SHTF situation happens and money goes basically down to nothing, not even having any purchasing power whatsoever. We are basically, it's like with the Weimar Republic after World War One. It took so much of the German money at that time that you literally were wheelbarrowing big piles of cash, or of German cash at that time in the 1920s before Hitler took power. You basically you would have this big giant wheelbarrow of cash. All that cash, we're talking about maybe up to my chest right here. That's how much it took to get maybe a couple slices of bread, maybe a loaf of bread, but that's how much it took. Okay? Because there's no purchasing power left, really, on those notes of debt that they owned. So, with that being said, it would be the same way here in the US. If something were to happen where, excuse me, where a situation happens and our U.S. power goes down, purchasing power, I should say, that's what's going to happen. That's why I think having other different modes of purchasing things outside of bartering would be a good idea. Now, I do know, matter of fact, I'm going to look it up here real quick. Oop, don't want to drop that. There's a new form of currency out here in the U.S., and it's not really available. Although, in all of, I gotta find it real quick. Yeah, here it is. In all states, I know some states, especially out west, accept these as actual currency. They're called goldbacks. And goldbacks are basically, it's real gold but it's in the form of like strips of money. You know, like we have the green paper money. Well, this is real money. This is real sound money, as Brian Young from High Impact Flicks would say. This is real. Like right now, I'm looking at 50 Utah gold back rum gold foil note, 24 karat. I'm sorry, 24K gold would cost you $172.47 on AppMex.com. This is real currency. There's literally places like in Utah and other states out there that literally the stores there, and I think even the state governments themselves, uh, use it as actual sound form currency. And I'm actually thinking of investing in some of this myself here in a couple months. But I'm hoping Texas will be one of those states. But anyways, I think, like I said, I think having caps would be a good idea if we could find something else other than water to back up its currency behind. You know. So, anyways, I just know that's what I noticed the last couple weeks of playing Fallout. Like I said, I really do. I really do think my life is a lot really similar to the Fallout games, and how I do my stuff and how the characters on the games have to do their stuff in order to survive the world of Fallout. So, anyways, I'm gonna go on ahead and go dumpster diving. I am actually working on a video with a friend of mine. I mentioned before that I have a friend of mine from Germany that lives nearby, uh, James, who was in the Bundeswehr, and he has four kids. His oldest one's 18. She's in the army, and they're all German. And I explained this in the video I'm doing with her. This is technically a two-part video, but I'm going to actually combine it into one video, and you'll see what I'm talking about in the middle, because she had to actually leave to go do something for a family member. So I had to cut the video, and we're going to pick up tomorrow what we were doing, but it's a reaction video. I want to start doing reaction videos to other YouTube videos. And the one we're doing, because of their German background, and she knows more German than I do. I mean, I speak German, but not a lot compared to them. But they are teaching me. Anyways, I wanted her to react to the video, and I think you guys would actually find this funny. So she's gonna come back tomorrow, and we're gonna try to finish the video up, and we're actually reacting to two videos, or at least we're gonna try to. So anyways, I'm gonna go out and dumpster dive. I'll see you guys later. Peace.